Welcome to the Supreme Influence Show, the space to embody your infinite potential and fulfill your highest destiny. Hi, I'm Niurka, and I'm inspired to bring you this amazing episode. I'm enthused to introduce you to our special guest for episode 9, my dear friend, Reid, who is a best-selling author, motivational keynote speaker, and a filmmaker who is also known as the Millionaire Mentor. And today, Greg's going to be giving you insights and strategies to scale your business and live your best life. So tune in and discover Greg's secrets on how he connects with world leaders. He's one of the most brilliant connectors I know, and he will share with you how he connects with individuals worth 100 million into the billions of dollars and has conversations with them to uncover, to elicit their formulas for success and how he shares them with you. He's also going to share how by asking the right questions, you can open doors of opportunity. And this is totally in alignment with my teachings, as many of you know. The power of questions. He's going to give you examples of how he quantum jumped into a brand new field that he knew nothing about, the field of filmmaking, and successfully produced a multi-million-dollar movie. You'll learn about what Greg calls the power of stickability, how to persevere and not give up, even in the most challenging times. He's going to share a legendary story of a gold miner who literally gave up 3 feet away from the largest gold strike in history. That's a true story. This episode is going to inspire you to innovate right now in today's changing world and to powerfully move forward towards your goals and your dreams with pizzazz. This is a fun episode. Greg's going to share with you how successful people duck dive. You're going to hear his famous story on the spider monkey. He's going to share with you what he calls the CPC formula of success. Greg and I first met like 15 years ago. We were both featured in a book together, and we met, we clicked, we instantly became friends. And over the years, I've been blessed to have Greg speak on my stages at my events and share his riveting message with our community. He is a masterful storyteller, and I've been blessed to be featured in his movies and also be a host alongside Bob Proctor for the release of his bestseller, 3 Feet from Gold, which we're going to be talking about on this episode, which is the evolution of the legendary classic Think and Grow Rich and Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, which, by the way, changed my life completely in the early years. I walked around with that book like it was like my life depended on it. So this is a very powerful session. You want to make sure that you grab a pen and a journal for this episode because it is filled with gold nuggets of wisdom, and there's even a gift in here for you. Plus, Greg is going to share with you how you can connect with him personally. So let's dive in. Hi, Greg. Wonderful to be with you. Thank you so much for being with me and with us on our show.
We are family. What are you talking about? I'm looking forward to this.
This is so awesome. You have been doing some amazing things on the planet. I know you've got extraordinary books out there and you've been bringing this message out to the world. I am so excited to hear more. Tell me about this 3 feet from gold, because you and I have been talking about this for years when we with Bob Proctor.
We started doing this one back in 2006, 2007, and that book has had a resurgence. They're doing a reboot, and they just came out with the revised version after, a dozen years out in the marketplace. It's a story about R.U. Darby, the gold miner who gave up 3 feet away from the largest strike in history. And the moral is, how many times have we or someone we know quit one class short from a degree or sales or marketing? It's easy to quit. But it's the people that persevere through the challenging times. Sound familiar? They're the ones that come out on top. They look for and capitalize on unexpected opportunities, and then they strike when the fire's hot.
I love that, and how you've really brought this message to another level. I remember reading about this in Laws of Success like decades ago, and that was a profound body of work that transformed my life. So I get so excited about you really sharing this, and then that leads into the message of stickability.
Yeah, stickability. After we did 3 Feet from Gold, it was pretty cool. We went around the world For those of you who really don't know me, by the way, hi, I'm Greg.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about you because.
Yeah, I'm an author, speaker, filmmaker, dude. I've been publishing 100 books, 45 languages. I think up there you can see I got a little star on the Walk of Fame where you live right now in Las Vegas.
I love it.
But it's cool because I'm the most unqualified guy to do what I do. I can't read, I can't write, I'm dyslexic. Play me Words with Friends, you'll win every time, right? But you and I understand the power of work your strengths, hire your weaknesses, and know the difference, right? So I suck at writing, so I got these amazing ghostwriters and copy editors that took my words and made it the way people would want to read it. And so just so you guys know from a very upfront thing, that's who I am. So Stickability, I got a book for that. So Stickability is about the power to persevere and not give up through the challenging times. And I want to tell a 3-minute story about the spider monkey. Can I do it?
I love it. I can't wait to hear.
So the first cat I interviewed for that thing invented the cellular phone, right? His name was Marty Cooper. And I said, what does stickability mean to you? And he said, stickability has to be parallel with flexibility. He says, if you're not willing to adapt and adjust, you'll get stuck. And he told this story about a spider monkey. He said, in the rainforest, you can't catch it. Harpoon it, spear it, catch, it's too wiry. But one hunter named San Juan figured it out. He took a heavy log, drilled a tiny hole, dropped a peanut inside, and left it at the base of the jungle. The monkey would smell the nut, come down from the treetop, reach his hand in, grab a hold of the nut, and his fist becomes so big, he can't pull it back out. Now, all he's got to do is let go, but he thinks that nut is nutrition, it's saving him, so he holds on with dear life. The hunter comes by an hour later, captures the elusive spider monkey. And the moral is, could we be holding on to our own nut right now? But it's in the form of a job or a house or a car or a deal or fear or guilt or remorse. And what we think is saving us, just like the monkey thought the nut was, could be the thing that's leading to our own demise right now. Sometimes we have to have the courage and the fortitude to simply let go, adjust, and adapt so we can live to fight another day.
This is so important in this time, especially now when, I mean, as we're having this conversation, we're quarantined in the midst of this COVID-19. And what's most important is to be able to have that flexibility to let things go and innovate.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. Let's cut to the chase. I mean, we're supposed to be doing live events. This week, I was going to do my biggest event. Didn't happen. So we put it on Zoom. We adapted and adjusted. That is the secret. Look, Truett Cathy, founder of Chick-fil-A. I go, I want to be a billionaire like you. What do I do? And he goes, stop all your planning. What are you talking about? That's what we do. And he goes, last year you had a lot of plans. I go, yeah. He goes, how did that work out for you? He goes, look for and capitalize on unexpected opportunity. I go, like what? He goes, if I'm on my sofa and I want to get to the end of the street, get off your ass and take action and move towards it. But look for opportunity. Did a kid leave a skateboard or a bicycle out? If you get lucky, you'll wave down a neighbor driving by and hitch a ride. He goes, either way, get to your goal, but don't be so caught up in exactly how it has to happen. And right now is that same opportunity. Look, everyone wants
What, are we going to take the kid's skateboard?
Yeah, well, you can borrow it. Trust me.
You got to master your communication skills and ask for that skateboard.
And you know what's so interesting about that? True story, 56 years old, I skateboard every single day. But the moral is there's always a solution to what it is. So for example, right now, and I'm not giving financial advice, I'm just telling you fact what I just did. Starbucks stock was 110, 20 bucks, whatever, just went down to 50 bucks. So I went and bought a few thousand shares of Starbucks stock. The second we're not in quarantine, Niurka, where are we going to go?
You want to go have a cup of coffee with me?
Exactly, right? And so the whole bottom line is I know that will double, triple, go back to normal. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm a regular dude. But again, there's an opportunity like that skateboard that a lot of people just aren't seeing right now.
So what would you say to somebody who's feeling the fear and not seeing those opportunities on how they can shake it off and focus on the opportunity, the possibility, so they could step into it? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a therapist. And one of these people out there and these gurus that tell you, you too should do this. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm just sharing what I'm going through so people can do it. And you're scared. I'm scared. We're all scared. But successful people do it anyway. I live right here in the beach of California. And you can tell a senior surfer from a brand new surfer by one thing called the duck dive. See, when a big giant wave comes, if you're a brand new surfer and you see that, you freak out and you hold on to your board, boom, it crushes you and breaks the board in half. But a senior surfer goes right into the belly of the wave. It's called the duck dive. They pop in, pop out the other side. They hardly even get wet. And I realized that the most successful people are duck diving right now. So the whole thing is
like they're going head on.
Yes, it's illumination. Whatever we're afraid of is the thing we should be going towards right now, because success and happiness and all these other things on the other side of it.
So it's like looking adversity in the eye and moving through it rather than looking away. How important that is.
And I'll tell you, one of the greatest opportunities right now, there's a bumper sticker that, you and I used to always chant this thing, like, what would you do if you couldn't fail? That's a great story. But here's the big thing. What would you do if you stopped giving a shit what people thought?
Talk about that. That's right? So important. So many people are worried about judgment or criticism or looking good and not looking bad and all of this. Yeah, share about that.
Guess no one here. Number one, newsflash: no one's thinking about you. They're doing their own stuff right now, and no one's looking inside your window. This is it. Get on, start that business, write that book, create a movie. Everything that you've been sitting and going, oh, I don't have the time. I've been waiting. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone has something called the bad case of the one size. That means I'm going to take action once I get the kids out, once I get the big break. This actually is the perfect time to get off your butt. And I don't mean the one you sit on, but the one you sit there and say, I'd go do that, but, and take action, because no one's looking in. You can't make a mistake. Give it a shot.
I love it. Well, one of the things that I know you're extraordinary at, and you are a master connector. You have so many brilliant relationships with some of the most amazing people on the planet over decades. Since you and I have known each other for how long now?
Long time.
Yeah, long time. Share a little bit about that and how you can inspire others to really go out there and powerfully connect and authentically connect.
Well, first of all, I do it with specificity. So when I wrote all these different books, when I reach out to people, I realized that the most successful people are the most available. I know it's weird, but it's true. If you're brand new at something, you're happy-go-lucky, you're fresh or cool. If you're at the pinnacle of your field, happy-go-lucky, you got nothing to prove. If you're in the middle, pain in the neck. You're filled with ego. You're edging God out. It's easier to get to the founder of Remax Real Estate Corporation, a billion-dollar brand, than your local Remax office guy down the street, because they're filled with all this, BMWs and ego stuff. So the whole idea is I realized I would just jump to the front of the line. And the way I did that was with specificity. So whenever I reach out to people, I didn't say I want to pick your brain, take you to dinner.
I'm not a fan of that line. Pick your brain.
Oh, it's horrible. Because what happens is that I don't know that person, and I honestly don't want to spend 3 hours with someone I don't know. So specificity. I would reach out to the people I want to meet and say, listen, I'm working on a new project called whatever it was, Stickability, and say, I need 12.5 minutes of your time. From the second I walk into your office till the time I leave will be 12.5 minutes. If it's not, I promise you can kick me out. I'm going to ask you only one question. How did you persevere through your most, dark time? That's it. And the chance of them saying yes was 100%, because it was so specific that they knew it was. And I always honored that. At 12.5, my alarm would go off. I go, done. And then usually they'd say, nah, stick around. And that's how we became friends. But the whole bottom line is I always honored that. The way you honor your mentors, as you and I know very clear, is you actually follow through. I mean, that's the key. So if you can actually honor your word, great things can happen.
So how were you able to schedule that first meeting in the first place?
Yeah, I use a tool that no one has heard of before, and it's kind of like, intellectual property. It's called Google. So what I do is I just Google people. That's it. If I'm on an airplane and I'm reading a story about, the Make-A-Wish Foundation or, string theory or NASCAR, I just Google their contact and reach out and say, hey, I'm working on this thing. I need 12.5 minutes. Here's another thing too. Stop making other people work for you in order to help them. And I know it sounds strange, but this is true. I can't tell you how many times I get off stage and people come up and they go, how can I be of contribution? How can I help you? How can I think? Which is such a wonderful testament. However, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know what your talented are. I don't know what you're thinking. You're gonna make me work. Now I have to do an investigation on you. So how about this? If I come off stage and go, hey, how can I be of contribution of you? I know you're on Instagram. You have 500,000 followers. Can I make a couple cool kick-ass memes for you if you like it? Maybe use me down the road. Completely different energy. Stop making me work.
Do the research in advance so that when, yes.
Yes, and that's the whole idea. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't ask the right questions. I mean, right here is this book called Wishman. And it's kind of interesting. We just made the ballad for the Oscars this last year, and we're trending worldwide on Netflix. Watch it tonight. But it all came from a question. I was interviewing the founder of Make-A-Wish, Frank Shankwitz, which you know. And I asked him a question. What was your wish? He goes, what are you talking about? I go, you're a founder of Make-A-Wish. What'd you want? No one ever asked me. I says, what? I go, I'll grant your wish. Anything you want. I'll buy you a car or whatever. And he says, no, I just want my story to be told so my grandkids know I did something. So he signed over his life rights and said, Frank, I'll make it into a feature film, but just know I've never made a feature film. But he trusted me, and it took 6 years, millions of dollars, but we made the freaking ballad for the Oscars, and we're trending worldwide, right? You don't have to know all the answers. No bad case of the one size, but seek counsel. Here's the difference. And I know you asked me that, but the greatest thing I ever got, people that seek counsel have success in their life. People that listen to opinion fail. Opinions based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, inexperience, counsel, wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. Go to a family friend, tell you you're going to write a book. They'll talk you out of it if they've never written a book. Mark Victor Hansen, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's going to say, here's what you need to know and give you counsel. When we seek counsel and ignore opinion, that's the day our life changes.
Mentorship.
Yes.
Importance. I remember one of your first books, The Millionaire Mentor.
By the way, yeah, and I'll give a free copy of that if anyone wants it. And it was really interesting, that book.
Thank you.
Yeah, that book was such a trip for me. You know, again, I'm going to be very clear. I can't read, I can't write, I'm dyslexic. So when I wrote that book, I was turned down by 268 publishers, agents, brokers in a row. The 269th one said, I'll do your book, just change the title, the beginning, the middle, and the end, because it sucked. And I realized you work your strengths and you hire your weaknesses. So I got a ghostwriter who took my words that said, a boy gets the entrepreneurial spirit, walks outside, mows lawns, buys a bike. And they go, it was a glorious Sunday afternoon when a young bright-eyed lad caught the entrepreneurial dream as he walked his best friend, and they made it into a book. And that's how I do it. This book right now is trending worldwide. It's called Wealth Made Easy. The guy who, my name's on it, I'm the author. There's like Santa Claus, but the guy who wrote it, Gary Krebs. He's the publisher of McGraw-Hill Publishing Corporation. He's the former publisher of McGraw-Hill. Who can write a better book, me or that dude?
Extraordinary. So really building these relationships and expanding on your gifts and letting other people expand on theirs. I love it.
Yeah. And the answer back to the original question, how do you build these relationships? I honor my mentors. I remember when I met Les Brown, you and I, when we were getting started in this thing, Les was our deity to us, right? And I went to him and said, Les, I want to be a great speaker like you. Give me one nugget of something I could do. And he did. And he told me, it was really cool. He says, when you're holding the microphone, stop holding at the end to this because you're blocking your face as a speaker. What you do is you hold it at the very end, and that way you can still communicate. People can see you, and you can still do hand gestures. Simple little thing. Well, I hunted him down a month later. I said, Mr. Brown, I met you a month ago. I asked for a nugget. You gave it to me. I applied it. It was a great success. What should I do next, sir? He freaked out. No one's ever done that, right? And all of a sudden he goes, here's what you want to do. And he started giving me all this counsel. And you honor your mentors by applying the wisdom and knowledge. And then chances are they'll open up their ideas and their Rolodex to you in return.
And they love to share. They love to share their stories.
Absolutely.
So who are some of your mentors now? Let's say from an entrepreneurial or a strategic perspective.
I have many mentors. See, this is one of these misnomers. You don't need a mentor in your life. You need many mentors in your life. So for example, my tennis mentor, I got a wicked backhand, but I'm not going to ask him financial advice, right? And the guy who works with me in my books, I don't speak to them about speaking. And the same thing is I don't talk to my accountant about my love life, etc. So I get multiple mentors. Surround yourself with people that are getting the results you want. Look, when I wanted to be a best-selling author, I went to Barnes & Noble. I bought every best-selling book. Mind you, I didn't want to be a great writing author. It's not my goal. And I went to those best-selling authors and said, teach me the system. We applied it, and here we are now. And it's the same thing when I went to Africa and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I did not ask a dope-smoking surfer to take me there. I found a Sherpa that I climbed it 900 times. Wherever they put their boot print, I put my boot print. If you follow successful actions of others, magic's right around the other side.
So look at people's results.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are totally clear on who you're taking advice from. And if they're not getting the results, that's not somebody to listen to. That is.
And here's a little caveat to that one too. Add the word today. This is a big one. For example, if I was going to open a new restaurant chain, Gene Landrum is a really dear friend and mentor of mine who started Chuck E. Cheese. Awesome. 40 years ago. So if I was going to open a restaurant, I probably wouldn't go to him. What I would do is I would go to the guys doing Five Guys or In-N-Out or whatever hot thing. And I'd ask them what they're doing because they got their thumb on the pulse of what's modern. And if we can surround ourselves with people that are getting the results that we want for ourselves today, apply that wisdom, we can have it for ourselves.
And that are tapped into technology, because
Absolutely.
That's the direction everything is going. So really tuned into those that are creating outstanding results and leveraging technology.
Yeah, and things are changing. For example, I got off Facebook a while ago, and I went to Instagram and LinkedIn. And, sure, I don't have the interactions of what I ate for dinner and puppies and kittens, yet I'm doing more business transactions. I'm meeting the coolest, more successful people than I ever have before. So I had to adapt.
On which platform? Is the one that you're on, all of them, or is there one particular one that you're leading with?
I am on all of them because all of them are free, by the way. But the main one that I'm making connections with right now are LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn and Instagram are just crushing it. And by the way, LinkedIn, and if you go to Instagram, it's Greg S. Reid. And if you direct message me there, it goes right to my phone. No filters, anything goes right to me. My only request, do not ask about what you ate for dinner, your kids, or again, whatever. But if you go, hey, I'm working on this situation, you got some insight or a connection, I'd be glad to talk to you.
Wow, thank you for that. What a huge blessing for everyone listening. We got a direct connection with you.
Boom, right to the source.
I love it, right to the source. So tell me about the secret knock, because that's been featured in Fortune magazine. I know that it's a big talk in the industry. What is the secret knock?
Yeah, the secret knock's become more popular than me. I love that. It's like when you create a brand and it takes off, and it was all just an accident. So what happened is I was interviewing these amazing people, and folks kept saying, how do I meet your friends? So in my living room with 12 people, I brought a few of them in, and they go, how do we get in? Is there a ticket? And I go, no, just I go, just do the secret. It's a joke. And then it took off and became viral. And now we're Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur's top event in the world. You go to secretknock.co. We left the M off so no one could find us, and they still did. And what's neat is we don't bring in coaches, teachers, mentors. We bring in the actual human who did it. So if you want to start a clothing line, here's the founder of UGG boots. If you want to start a nonprofit, Make-A-Wish. If you have an invention, here's the guy who created the credit card magnetic strip and changed banking. When you get into politics, here's Presidente Vicente Fox. If you want to talk about espionage and secrets, we've Skyped in Edward Snowden while he's hiding in Russia. The whole idea is, how do you get access to the actual people who've accomplished what everyone else is talking about?
And have conversations with these people and ask them questions. And now you're doing it live stream, aren't you?
Well, we just did it because, again, our event had to get canceled or postponed until September. It was awesome, though. I mean, we had the founder of Showtime Television, the founder of the E! Entertainment Network. We had the founder of Pictionary. We had everyone popped on this thing. It was pretty darn spectacular. And our live event we're going to do is September 2nd and 3rd here in San Diego. Again, secretknock.co. You can fill out an application. Not everyone that applies will be accepted, but the people that do come, it'll blow your mind.
So what is the new, what is it that you're focused on right now as far as a new project or primary focus?
Staying indoors is my number one focus right now. And door number 2 is a new TV reality show. It's called Wake Up and Crush It. In fact, I'll send you a little trailer you might want to pop up there. And what's really, really cool about it is I realized people are missing tough love. Everyone's coddling everyone and telling them how great they are. And they're not being real. And so what I did is I started a TV show where everyone wants access to my connections. So I created something called the Switchboard, which is my Rolodex, because it connects people. And people come over and they attempt to win an opportunity to have access to my connections. And it's really cool because we're giving them real life counsel. So like the first episode, a guy comes up and said, I need $100,000 to start a business. I go, why? He goes, well, I'm going to build a factory to make my clothes. I go, how many clients do you got? 2. I go, what are you talking about? You don't need. It's insanity. So we sit there and go, no, you don't. Here's what you need. You need an Etsy account, a Facebook ad. You need a logo design and a
And you need to get on the phone.
Yes, exactly.
Start talking to people and make some sales.
And so somebody's given actual real life counsel of what it's like. It's not a Shark Tank thing. It's get off your ass and here's how you take action.
So that's a really awesome point, really meeting people and understanding, okay, where are you in this business life cycle? What would you say to somebody who's just getting started? Like they've got this vision, they're passionate, they're excited, but they're just getting started. What's the most important thing for them to focus on in order to create success?
First of all, congratulations, because I believe what's about to happen is going to be the greatest boom that we've ever seen in the world. I think within the next 6 to 12 months, you'll never see anything. You're sitting on a power keg of positivity that's coming on the other side of this. That's my viewpoint of it. And I think that'll be the greatest time to be in business.
I just had a conversation with the world economist who was talking about that. He was talking about how usually after a recession or depression, there's a U curve, but he was talking about this is going to be the biggest V and the biggest quantum jump that we've ever seen in the history of our lifetime.
And fast. And people are going to this new technology. So where everyone might have not been online or virtual through their phones, everyone's going that way. It's almost like we're right now being thrown in the deep end to learn how to swim with all this technology. I never did a Zoom thingy in my life, and I've done 50 Zooms this week, right? So it's a whole new world, and I'm realizing, boy, here is an actual asset that we've all been sitting on that no one's been overly utilizing. I think online shopping, online TV, fashion shows, instead of going to Milan and things of this nature, I think things are going to be shifting. Even in our events, Niurka, I thought it was kind of cool. I go, even at my live event in September, I've always focused on bringing the humans there. I'm going, what if I did a combination where literally I bring in these hologram people that I've got connections to. We put a hologram screen, and then half of them are real life people and half of my hologram from their home office, the most famous humans alive, where they don't have to travel across the globe and they can still be there.
Definitely. The world is changing. I love the human connection though. I like seeing you, in person, and at the same time, it's really going to be a combination of what's going to allow.
We do, because we're people. And again, we can't be selling something that you and I want. It's what the people want, right? And at the end of the day, a lot of people, I'm learning, enjoy being at home in their comfort, and they can watch this without feeling pressure or feeling what have you. And a lot of these rah-rah events, you know, it is too. It's like right in the back. It's sometimes the energy is shifted in the thing. And now people are focusing on content, deliverable, coming through, making sure that they're having customer satisfaction. I think that's awesome for our industry.
Totally. Meeting people where they are, no matter where you are on the planet, you can dial in and tune in.
Yeah, it is really special. The founder of UGG Boots just shifted to it. He started a thing called Lash on, it's a new network that he's doing on Facebook. And basically it's a home shopping channel through Facebook, and you can sell your product, goods, and services. And I went, wow, what a brilliant way of reaching the mass markets in a completely different way. And they started this about 6 months ago, but it just ramped up overnight, obviously, because again, you know, watching something on Amazon and seeing a stagnant picture is one thing, but when you get to see people modeling it and doing everything else, and it's not just the status quo kitchen crap that you see on the, home shopping network, it's pretty neat and different.
And the innovation that's happening now, we're seeing it, just like you talked about the hologram. People are going to be able to come in through artificial intelligence, through the virtual reality, right as we're talking now, and even feeling, experiencing. What about the experience of it? Having them really feel that? Well,
again, I think it depends how we use that technology. When we're doing our Secret Knock Zoom, we incorporated a lot of dances and music and, flair and things like that. It just wasn't talking heads. So therefore people felt like there was a little pattern interruption for them. And we played comedy clips, little, 60-second Instagram comedy clips. And what happened is it just kept resetting the energy and the attention, but also we did it interaction. So rather than just watching a stream, people were texting, people were engaging. And we did a thing where you took a photograph of yourself watching it and you did a hashtag. You got entered to win a tub of love, which was worth over $100,000. So people were hashtagging, engaging, asking questions. And
I want a tub of love.
Yeah, that's where I see things are going right now.
Your energy is so supreme. Your passion is unmatched. What is it that inspires you at the deepest level, Greg?
Creation. I love making stuff. Seeing it go to market is, I know it's so most people work their whole life to see it to go to market. That's the least exciting thing. It's the idea, the creation. So far, I've been sitting down here. I've just been coming up with a million ideas. And I like the creation part of it. I learned a very powerful tool that I think you might have taught it to me about 10 years ago, the power of non-attachment. Detachment, you told me, means you don't give a crap. That's not a good way to live. Non-attachment means you give it 100%, everything you got, you release it to the world, but you're not attached to the outcome. That changed my life because now I can work very hard for 3 years to write an amazing book. But once it goes, whether it's a bestseller or success, it's not my issue. My issue is I did the very best I can. I released it, and now I can move on to my next creation.
Let me just pause. Could you hear the dogs? If not, we'll edit this part out. Were you able to hear the dogs or were?
Yeah, but
not?
I like it. It's real.
Okay, cool. So we'll just edit that part out. Or we'll edit this part out of me asking you about the dogs. Awesome. Yes, mastering the art of non-attachment, because I see so many people that get attached, and attachment comes from fear. And it's like, oh, they want something to happen and they want it to happen in a particular way. And in that state of attachment, it's like they get tunnel vision and they miss all the unlimited opportunities that are around them.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had this discovery. You had it years ago, but it finally hit me. I'm like on a delay switch 10 years. and it was interesting is what if God in the universe granted every wish and every prayer, but we didn't like the packaging, so we sent it on its way. So we said, God, I need $100. Please, Lord, I need $100. Guy pulls up in a pickup truck full of aluminum cans. Says, I'm running late for a meeting. Will you take these off my hands? Cash them in, they're worth $100. I don't want those stinky things. Get those out of here. You asked, you prayed, it was delivered, but I didn't like the packaging, so it was sent on its merry way. Well, what else are we asking and praying for, but we're judging the way that it's packaged? And I realized by turning it down, it tells the universe and our spirit that we don't have appreciation and gratitude that was just granted. So the next time we ask and pray, just like a kid might ask for something and didn't appreciate it, maybe they might turn a blind eye until we start having a little bit of gratitude of attitude.
That's beautiful. Awareness, having the awareness to see. And one of the things I love that I've seen since you and I have met is how you always pass it on.
Oh, yeah.
Your generosity, your heart, that you are so giving in with all of your relationships. And you did a movie about that. Pass it on. Would you just share a little bit about that?
Yeah, you and I did. 2005, 6, I don't even know how long ago it was. It was so funny when The Secret came out. All the people in there were yours and my friends. And we're going like, hey, hey, did we miss Kettle Call? How did we miss this thing, right? And so we did I'll call it a rebuttal version. And we started talking about the action in law of attraction that makes your dreams come true. You think it, feel it, you got to get off your backside and you got to do it. And Rhonda Byrne did such a great job with that film, bringing personal growth and development to the marketplace. Yet a lot of those people that were in the film were going, wait a second, they edited out the part about the law of gestation and the law of reciprocation and all these other things.
Law of vibration.
Exactly. So what Pass It On was an accumulation of movie stars, celebrities, politicians, all these amazing people, including you and I, and we sat down and said, look, if you want to really have success in your life, you have to do all these things synchronously. I don't know if that's a word, but again, I'm not a
We
writer.
can start creating words and coining them in the dictionary.
Oh, John, I'm just a creator. This is why I drive all my ghostwriters crazy. They go, what the hell is that word, right? So.
Well, it is. I'm so excited to share even more of you with our community. How does everybody get a hold of you? We talked about Instagram.
Yes, and we set this up to give a book. So I'll just say right here. What we can do is,
if you give us the book, then we'll put it on our page and we'll make sure that everybody can have access to it.
That's the easiest.
Isn't that awesome? You see what a giver. And by the way, one of the things I teach, which Greg is the living embodiment of, that it's in the giving that we receive.
Amen.
So hallelujah.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So I'll send you the PDF and you can send it out to everyone. It makes my job easier. I don't have to send it. So the other thing is I want to end with this one little message I've been learning here.
Yes. Give them
some. I did this book called Wealth Made Easy. And I learned a valuable tool that changed my life. For 3 years, I went around and I interviewed people worth $100 million to $1 billion. And I kept wanting to know if there's a formula for success. And the common denominator kept coming up. And I learned it from Mark Anthony Bates. And he's not a gadillionaire, but he's brilliant. And he taught me something called CPC. And it's all about accountability and responsibility for every single thing that happens. And it works like this in a very logical and analytical way. Clues is the first C. P is the patterns, and then C is choices. For example, I'm a single guy. I go out on my first date, and let's say she's 20 minutes late. There's a clue. If I go on the second, third, fourth date, she's 20 minutes late every time. There's a pattern. Now, it is my choice whether I deal with it, adjust it, confront it, accept it, whatever, but it's not her fault. She's just late. That's who she is. I'm not going to change her. So the whole thing is accountability and responsibility. But how many times have we heard someone with a bad reputation in business, and then all of a sudden they cheat your friend, but it'll be different this time when we do business with them and we have a bad experience and we're mad at them. Clue, patterns, choices. It's like watching a rattlesnake rattle, bite your sister, and then you try to pet the snake and it bites you too. Look, it's about accountability and responsibility. CPC, clues, patterns, choices.
Okay, so that's a brilliant insight for everyone to bring profound clarity and awareness to each moment. Because how many times do you see somebody that gives a meaning to that situation? Like, oh my goodness, this person is so disrespectful, or what is it about me that's causing them to do this? And then they give this meaning that disempowers them, and then they waste a lot of time looping these negative thoughts rather than just seeing things for what they are.
Correct. And it gets through some relationships, one or the other, pretty quick where you can make that decision. So for example, look, nothing's perfect, right? No one's perfect, but the realities are, my reticular activator system is so attuned to this that when someone comes over here and there's a little clue and I see a pattern, I make a choice immediately. And, I've been getting out of bad relationships really quick in business and personal, where I go, this is a little toxic and this doesn't go into my vibration state to where I want to be. So I'm willing to have the courage and the fortitude to work it out.
How about between pattern and choice, conversation and communication? What are your thoughts on that? Where let's say you go on that date and that lady has this pattern and you bring that up and you say, you know what, I'm noticing this pattern, or this is what I'm seeing. What's your experience? Or do you just go straight to the choice?
Well, it is that is the choice. Like I said,
the choice to communicate.
You confront it, you have to communicate, whatever, or you just accept it. It's up to you at that point which decision you want to go. But
so this is where you ask what's most important to me in light of this.
So a lot of times I sit there and I 100% will have that communicate. That's who you and I are. But quite frankly, a lot of times I'll see a clue, a pattern, and go, I'm out.
Not for me.
Well, yeah. I know I'm not going to change them, and they're not going to change me. So here's my favorite thing. You're absolutely right. Because that ends all negative conversations. You're absolutely right. Greg, you're a short bastard who you're absolutely right. That's it.
So one of the things I've known about you since we've met is how consistently in a awesome flow of positive attitude, consistently, this is like who you are. Right. What's like just one technique that we can have as a final thought for people to really tap in to a positive attitude, regardless of what's happening outside of them?
Well, Abraham Lincoln had a great quote. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be. And so for myself, that's the attitude I choose to live in. It beats the alternative. Back when I was in business, even in school, my teacher would give me a hard time. Oh, panaceic attitude. Oh, how great things are. I can't be always that good. Actually, it can be. I mean, I have a philosophy of always good. I remember I was checking out at a cash register at a grocery store, and people were going through, and the cashier would say, how you doing? And the people would say, fair, fine, fair to middling, and then a double negative, not bad.
Not that bad.
And
Could be worse.
It got to me, and I go, I'm going to come up with a double positive. So it comes to me, and she goes, how you doing? Gets to me, and I sat there and said, always good. She stopped and looked at me. She goes, what? And I said, people are as happy as they make up their minds to be. I'm always good. So I could be sick, throwing up in the toilet. Someone goes, how you doing? I go, always good. Because I know that that's the destination that's coming to the other side of this. Hey, thanks for having me on. I love you.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you soon. And until then, you keep smiling.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this awesome episode. And a special thanks to Greg for sharing such valuable insights and stories on how we could create extraordinary results in our businesses and in our lives and have fun doing it. I love the examples that he gives, like the movie that he produced, Wish Man, a heartfelt story on how the Make-A-Wish Foundation came to be and how it's impacted countless lives. And remember, it all began with the power of questions. I also love the CPC, Clue Pattern Choice Success Formula that he shared and how we could apply this discernment tool when it comes to making important decisions in every area of life. It's awesome. Remember to go to my website, thesupremeinfluenceshow.com, to pick up your special gift, the Millionaire Mentor book download that Greg has been so gracious to offer us. You can get it at thesupremeinfluenceshow.com. And if you received value from this episode, please be sure to like it and give us 5-star ratings and write a review. It means a lot. I really appreciate you. And be sure to share the podcast and the show with the people in your life, your friends, family, business partners, associates, your team, and on social media, because it will make a difference. There's value here for everyone to embody their infinite potential. And I will see you on our next episode.